What if I told you that you can fall head over heels in love with yourself? I'm talking that all-consuming, can't get enough, love everything about you type of love. Well, you can. The Self Plus Love Equals Balance podcast is here to show you how. Every week, we'll share tested strategies, personal stories, and invaluable resources to help you take a balanced approach to loving yourself. Here's your host, Carrie, the Balanced Nurse. Let's get to the love.
Hey ladies, welcome back to another episode of Self Plus Love Equals Balance podcast. I'm your host, Carrie, and I am so grateful that you're here with me. I really hope that you enjoy the vibe. And so on this podcast, of course, we talk about self-love. We talk about really just how to transform into your best self. But most specifically, what we are really going to emphasize in the episodes to come is how to manifest your best life. If you follow me on any of my platforms, you will see that I am officially branded as the manifestation coach for women. And it's no different than what I have been doing for these past 3-4 years now in helping women achieve their goals through transformation, through healing, through energy. It's just that the secret is out. You know, I am huge on manifesting, on co-creating, on, you can fool people, but you can't fool energy kind of thing. And if something's messed up, you got to heal it. And so you're going to really benefit from lots of practical approaches to co-creating your best life, whatever that is for you. And I'm just bringing that up before we dig in because we're going to get into the heavy lifting of it. When we talk about manifesting, people immediately think about love, money, kids, family, whatever that is for you. And so it's been a theme, and you guys who know me well at this point, you know that I like to work in themes, so much to where I said, you know what? If I'm going to really start to spill the beans on this manifestation subject, I want to really give you the gems, and gems as in, not just steps, not just, I'll always have action steps and so forth, but not just steps, but really what is key when we start to think about, all right, what do I really want? Okay, fine. I can co-create. What do I want to create? You have a blank canvas. What is it that you want? And so I want to dig into clarity, manifesting with clarity. And the next couple of episodes will be, geared towards helping you with that. But I want to do it subject specific. So today I'm going to dig into relationships. You ready? All right. So most people are able to give you an idea or examples of what it is that they do not want, right? We're talking about relationships now. It's like, oh, I don't want a player. Oh, I don't want a deadbeat, or I don't want this. I don't want that, because, complaining is easy, right? And everybody does it. So you'll get yeah, you go girl, me too. And and what have you, right? You'll get that. And you'll be stuck on what it is that you don't want so much that you're unable to really take some time and realize what it is that you do want, right? Because that takes work. To get very specific takes work. And so the struggle that many women have with manifesting the relationship that they want is that there hasn't been that time that's put in to getting crystal clear on what that relationship is and what you would like it to be. Okay? But before we really even go there, let's dig into why you may be struggling with clarity. All right, so maybe it's your limiting beliefs. Okay, maybe it's something generational as far as like what you have been brought up to believe in terms of relationships, right? Maybe you're struggling with clarity because you have chronic comparison syndrome, I like to call it. Maybe you're distracted. Maybe you're impatient. Maybe you don't feel as though you're worthy. These are all reasons as to why you may be struggling in manifesting the relationship that you want. And this goes for whether you are single or partnered, okay? And for ladies who are partnered, nowhere am I giving you the advice to leave your boo, okay? But because, things can be healed and cultivated and so forth. But you'll see that this actually has less to do with your partner and everything to do with you, because you'll soon find that gaining clarity is where it's at, okay? You are able to be specific in what you want. Yes, of course, identifying what you do not want is important, but when you actually gain clarity and you really get down to the nuts and bolts of what you want, you're going to find that you're more focused. You're going to find that you're able to prioritize better. You're going to find that you're content. You're grateful, right? You're going to be able to push through the hiccups, the roadblocks, the detours better because you're clear on where you're going, right? And my favorite in clarity, what keeps me in my clarity game, is that you'll be able to take action with ease. I like to call it the path of least resistance, right? And taking action becomes non-negotiable. There isn't an excuse when you have clarity. So the analogy I like to give is, if you know that you have to go to the mall, I always like to give the mall analogy. You go into the mall and you have a specific store that you're going to because you need a specific outfit for a specific event, okay? Follow me. And you're heading to the mall and there is an accident and it's, dead stop traffic. Again, you got this event, you got to get to the specific store to get a specific outfit, right? What do? You turn on your playlist and you rock out until traffic starts again, right? Because here's the thing, you know where you're going, right? You're not going to pull off and say, I'm going to go home, or let me go over here to Target, or let me go get something to eat. No, you're not going to entertain those distractions. You're not going to give up. And I know you're not going to throw an adult tantrum. You are going to be focused and content, and you're going to push through that traffic because you know where you are going and why. Okay? Apply that metaphor to wherever you see fit, but it's really, really important for us to gain clarity on what we want. And as we talk about relationships, the most important relationship that we want to gain clarity about is the one with ourselves, right? And I know that self-love right now is a movement, and I feel that, because it's such a lifestyle for me, it's more than just a self-love Saturday or self-love Sunday. It's more than just a hashtag. It's more than just a selfie that you take when you get your mask on. It's truly a lifestyle, because self-love is how we manifest the relationship that we want with other people, right? And when I talk about gaining clarity, as far as the relationship with ourselves, key things: your health, your habits, your boundaries, the way that you talk to yourself and others. And I should piggyback that with the way that you allow yourself to talk to yourself and the way that you allow others to talk to you. What are your interests? What are your goals? These are all part of self-love, right? So if you're not making any of these things a priority, why would you expect to attract and maintain and cultivate and grow a relationship with someone who does, for you. Right? So if you struggle with sleep and then, it's like, oh, I'm not getting enough sleep, or you struggle with your weight, and oh, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I never get it. Well, let's just kind of take a step back. People follow our lead, right? So what we do when we're in that energy of, and this is self-abuse, right? You'll attract a partner, no problem, because you're amazing and magnetic and energetic, and that's what you'll do. But what you're going to attract is that same degree of self-abuse in whatever way that looks like. It may not look like, blatant in your face, abuse. And please, as a side note, I am not making a joke out of abuse. If you are someone that's in an abusive relationship, use this as your message to get out and seek help. All right, so now just back to the point. You will attract someone who will basically follow your lead. And the thing with followers is not only do they follow your lead, but very often they perfect it and they're going to level you up, right? So in the way that you treat yourself, if you don't cultivate healthy habits, you're not going to attract that partner that's going to be the one to, I hear often women like, I want somebody to motivate me. No, what is it that motivates you? Motivate yourself, and then attract that partner where you guys can be motivated together. Okay? Because if you focus on cultivating the areas that are important to you, you're going to find that gaining clarity on like what you like, what your goals are, what your boundaries are. Are you someone, do you appreciate conversation over arguments? And how clear are you in that? Do you go looking for a problem when there isn't one? Because if you do, what happens is that you will manifest a relationship where there's always problems. It's like, oh, you want a problem? Here you go. Day after day, your wish is my command. Oh, you feel unattractive? Great. Let me just sprinkle this relationship here where you'll struggle feeling attractive, because this person is going to confirm that for you. Right? And so I very often when I bring this up, where it's like, if you talk to me about love or relationships, whether you're in one or seeking one, and you're having hiccups, I always bring it back to, well, let me into what the relationship with yourself looks like. What do you do when you're by yourself? What do you enjoy doing by yourself? That's key, right? So we want to first be content within ourselves. And ladies, if you are, again, on, single, if you're on a journey to finding love, if you're in love, it's never too late for you to just kind of like hit the brakes and say, okay, hold on, let me kind of reevaluate things here. Do I even like to spend time with myself? I remember when I started my journey, and, you guys know my story, where it's like struggled with self-abuse, overwhelm, depression, anxiety, relationship problems, and just being addicted to having problems. When I finally sat down and I'm like, wait a minute, but do I enjoy my company? I may want company, but do I enjoy my own company? What do I really like to do? So it was in that moment that it birthed my self-love dates, and my love of self-love dates. Because if you do not know what you enjoy, how do you expect somebody else to, give you more of that? Okay, so your first project in gaining clarity on love or relationships, you're going to hate me for this, but you'll love it later. I want you to first, and yes, it includes writing. I want you to write down, what do you feel? What is your view right? And this is without any limitations, without any barriers, anything that you can come up with. Well, Carrie, hold on, but what about this? Nope, that doesn't matter. No, that's not a factor. All right. I want you to write down what your ideal relationship with yourself looks like. Okay. And that is, how do you feel? How do you look? What do you like to wear? What have you accomplished? What are your hobbies? Okay, what are your routines? When you look at it like this, when you look at it like a relationship with yourself, it no longer seems like a chore, right? Because I think that's our issue, especially in this society where it's like it's okay, one and done. Let me get this over and done with, or we're all over the place, and it's like on to the next. We are often having that approach of okay, on to the next when it comes to ourselves. All right, but really take that time to say, well, how would I like to feel? And even if you don't feel that way, what is it that you want? And please know that this may not, you may not be able to answer these questions or these areas very quickly, because you'll find that you're having to kind of sort through what you're used to. And many of us are used to some level of dysfunction when it comes to ourselves. Okay, so that is your first project. I want you to describe the ideal relationship with yourself. All right. And if you're really feeling ambitious and like you're ready to slay these goals, I want you to get to work on one of those areas. Just one of those areas. Okay. So I don't care if it's like starting with a skincare regimen, your workout regimen, getting enough sleep at night, drinking enough water. I don't care what it is. I want you to take action on a particular step that really gears towards cultivating a loving and nurturing relationship with yourself. Okay, and now let's go into partnerships, because you'll see why self-love is so important and why we have to gain clarity on what it is that we want and love about ourselves. And once we manifest that, or even getting in, you don't have to be fully manifested, by the way. You have to have these intentions. You want to be in that work, and you're going to see that it just starts to happen. As you start to heal, as you start to bring yourself up energetically, what I like to call aligning, you will start to attract the same. So let's just say, okay, you know what? I want to cultivate healthy habits. I want to start working out. Oh my gosh, guess what? Next week, you may bump into that potential boo that just left the gym. Whatever that is for you, because it brings me into the next point, relationships. What is the ideal relationship for you? What does that look like? So often when it's like, a woman says to me, oh, I just want love. I'm going to, when I get into my relationship, then we'll do this together. Or, I'll lose weight when I find love. No, that's not how it goes. What does that relationship look like for you? And don't look for that relationship to push you to working on yourself. You're worth so much more than that, right? So start from the surface, as far as like your preferences, I'll let you in on a little bit of my dysfunction. I love tall men because I love to wear heels. That was my little vanity, but it's, what is it that you want from the exterior to the interior? Work yourself, looks, accomplishments. How do you want them to make you feel? What are their hobbies? What are their goals? All of these things are really important, because guess what? How are you going to know when you actually find this person? Right? I was sharing with someone the other day that what I have appreciated on this journey is that when your light starts to shine, and that always happens, okay, inevitably when you start to really work on yourself, you start to get that glow, your light starts to shine. And just think about what the function is of light. You know, it brightens things up, it illuminates things, right? But it also attracts moths. Right? And sometimes if there's enough moths around that, I'm just thinking about my porch light, if there's enough moths around it, that light can, it gets a little bit dim where it's hard for you to see what's out there, right? You want clarity in, first of all, what you want within yourself, and secondly, what you would want in a relationship, so that you can identify when the complete opposite presents itself, so that you can say thank you, but no thanks. I'm headed to the mall, right? Going back to that mall analogy. All right, so the clarity in this really has to do with you taking that time that you need. And if you are an overthinker, type A-er like myself, this may be very hard work for you. The action part is no problem for me. The implementing, that's not a problem for me. It's the clarity that is like, okay, hold on, girl. I know you got a whole bunch of ideas going on in your head right now, but what is it that you want? And don't try to do this while you're multitasking and ripping and running. And it's like, okay, you know what? Let me just write myself a quick note. You want to sit down and focus on how you want this relationship to make you feel. Okay, you want to be heard. You want stimulating conversations. You want surprises, right? You want to work on huge goals together. You want financial stability. You want a happy family. You want a peaceful home. All of that you're deserving of, right? So, in this subject of love and relationships, we're going to go back to some action steps. So your first action step is to get clear on the relationship that you want with yourself. What does that relationship need to make? What does it look like? How does it make you feel? What have you accomplished? What are your hobbies? What are your goals? What's that glow that you want? And then next you're going to start to get to work on any one of those areas. It's not so hard, just one of those areas, whatever it is that you're seeing. And if you are already in this work on one of those areas, level it up a little bit. Okay? And then I want you to do the same as far as writing down the ideal relationship for you. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And I want you to get very detailed and very specific. And as you do the work, I am going to invite you to keep me posted on how this goes. I love manifesting love stuff. I love manifesting relationship stuff because people are such mirrors to us that when it starts to really show itself, oh my gosh, how beautiful is it? Right? Anyway, that's enough. For this episode. You got enough work to do. Again, I feel really, 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 really grateful for you spending some time with me. And for those of you who have reached out to welcome me back, thank you so much. It feels amazing to be back. Again, we're here every week with a new episode, and next week I'll be digging into more manifesting with clarity, and I think I'm going to dig into finances for next week, so definitely stay tuned. Again, if you feel like you need more specific help with this is what I do. All my info on how to connect with me is in the episode details of the whatever platform you're listening on. I'd love to connect with you if you feel that it is right on time for you. Outside of that, I want you to keep loving on yourself, keep co-creating, and do your math differently. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Self plus Love equals Balance. Be sure to rate and review us on whatever app you use to listen. It goes a long way in helping others find our community. Until then, remember to do your math a little differently and love yourself.